Hi everyone, we're here. We're back for term 2, and it is now time for us to get started on some humanities work. I hope you've enjoyed your bit of a break, but now we're back to school. Whether you're at school or not, we're doing lots of work over the next term, so it's going to be exciting. We are looking at Shogunate Japan. Here it is. Alright, Shogunate Japan and the history of Japan, which is pretty much what we're going to be talking about for the next 5 weeks. But before we talk about anything that happened in Japan, we need to just talk about how we're going to kind of judge the work that you've done over the next 5 weeks. So how we're going to tell the things that you've done. And so very quickly, I'll just run through. I'll just go like this and go to our learning goals. So you might remember from our what do you call them? Proficiency scales. I had a moment there where I've forgotten exactly what they were called. Proficiency scales. There are some things that we need to do to show that to prove that you've learnt the stuff you've learnt, which you obviously will be able to do. I'll just turn on my little laser pointer down here so I can tell you what things you're looking for. This week, we are looking for 2 things. We're looking for content and some skills. The content that we're looking for is the history of ancient Japan and the emperor. So we're going to be learning about those specific things. And the skill that you're going to be working on is going to be research and comparison. So how you go about researching things, how you go about comparing things. Why are we doing that? We need to understand the conditions that led to the development of feudal Japan, or otherwise it just won't make sense. There's lots of things that happen for a reason, right, in this world, and there's always those reasons to understand before we talk about the thing that actually happened. And it's like, why does something happen? Well, we need to actually look back into the past and find out. How will we know when we get there? By the end of the week, you will know whether you've understood all of the stuff that we needed to do this week by being able to explain how the Emperor came to and lost his power. So how the Emperor came to power, what happened to create that position of Emperor, and then how he eventually went and lost his power. Okay, you'll be able to do those 2 things. Now, very quickly, I'm just going to jump out of this particular PowerPoint. I'm just going to very quickly show you... Now, proficiency scale, okay? So, what we're going to be doing this term is based on this proficiency scale, which you will have on your day map, okay? What we want to be able to do by the end of the 5 weeks is we want to be able to do this stuff, alright? We want to be able to discuss the similarities and differences between historical time periods using evidence to support your ideas. We're going to be talking about the differences between feudal Japan and medieval Europe, okay? You will also be able to tell me what these 5 words mean. So those 5 words are the important ones, right? Shinto, Buddhism, Confucianism, Shogun, and Samurai. You'll be able to tell me what all of them mean. In order to get to this point, you probably need to know what some of these words mean. Now, you probably have an idea of them, right? You know what a similarity is, a difference, you know what those are, you know what evidence is, you know time periods, you know what feudalism is, religion, castles, that kind of stuff. But if you don't know what any of those words mean, then do very quickly remind yourself so that you can get back into the swing of things. By the end of the 5 weeks, you should all be able to be here. But if you would like to push yourself a little bit further, you might be able to do this. It's slightly more complex. So we might be able to discuss something at score 3, but at score 4, you might be able to explain why that happens. Alright, so explain why the similarities and differences between historical time periods exist. What reasons were there for those differences happening? Okay, so over these 5 weeks, that's what we're going to be focused on. I want everyone to be able to do this, alright? That's what I care about. As long as everyone at the end of this 5 weeks can discuss the similarities and differences between Japan and Europe, and they can tell me what these 5 words mean, then you'll be all good to go. If you're working on this one at home, and you don't have your teacher around, you don't have peers around, it's just you and your parents, feel free to message whenever you got a question, alright? I might not be able to answer it straight away, but if you send me an email or a daymap message, then I will get back to you as soon as I reasonably can. If you're at school, feel free to come and see me. I'll be wherever I am, at whatever time. You'll be able to find me. It won't be too hard, right, to ask me those questions, but you can also email and daymap, it's fine. Once you do your work, we're going to be uploading all of our work to one place on daymap. What we're going to do is we're going to double check what week we're in. If we're in week 1, we need to submit all of the tasks that we do that week, whether we're at home or at school, to daymap for the week 1 formative tasks. That means at the end of each video, when you're given a task to do, you do that task, you submit it to week 1 formative tasks with a neat title, so I know exactly what that piece of work is. Means that I'll be able to easily tell who has done what and who I need to make contact with just to make sure that you are doing the right thing. Apart from that, there is plenty going on, right? Plenty going on. I don't want to take up too much more of your time explaining things. Get to work. We've got all of this week's work up on Daymap for you. You might need to skip ahead a few lessons if you want to, but you can do it all today. Make sure you get yourself all of your stuff in line and enjoy term 2 as best you can. And now we do an awkward exit whilst I find the stop recording button.